Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting match of Rocket League. Where here we head to the Titan League, where we have Disillusion versus Inferno. One quick announcement before we get into this. The voting for the stream matches will take place at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. I'm your host Squirrel, joined by none other than the great Fishy. Fishy, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back in here, and I get to watch my home League of Titan tonight.
Yes, always exciting games coming out of the Titan League. I would like to say that if you were not here for the last game, you missed an absolute barn burner where the Wraiths took a reverse sweep over the Bishops. A great game. But now we're here to focus on Titan League, where you have Disillusion, who's made up of Mr. Butters, Infinite, Dragolino, and Tension, and they are going to be taking on Inferno, which is composed of Wine, Els, Arrow, and Arc. Fishy, since you are a Titan League player, what can you tell us about these players?
Well, I can tell you that if this matchup had happened earlier in the season, I think most people wouldn't have given Disillusion much of a chance. They didn't have a win up until this point, but they did get their win on Monday that they were searching for all season, and that could give them some momentum heading into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that just looking through the rosters, there's not a whole lot of people on Disillusion that would stand out compared to Inferno, but who are your players to watch in this series?
Butters on Disillusion, I think, is a really underrated player. I played him all the way back in week one, and he really almost gave us a shock there. And he can just pull out anything. And I'd really watch out for the demos coming from Disillusion.
For sure. And I know coming out of Inferno, I've heard a lot about Wine. I've heard a lot about Els, Arrow. I know his name was mentioned as possible player of the week voting by a lot of people. So a lot of talent coming out of this Inferno squad. So if you had to predict this series, Fishy, what would you say?
I'd go with a 3-1 Inferno. I think Disillusion has a chance, and 3-1 is how this matchup ended up last week on Wednesday, 3-1 to Inferno. So I just can't bet against him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They are looking good, and the the records of these two teams, I think, definitely show that it's possible to be a 3-1. But in the Titan League, anything can happen as we take this first kickoff. Inferno wins it, but Butters plays it back. Arrow there to take the save. Gonna air dribble this one out. Wine pinches it on net, but Dringalin back to make the save. Controlling it, beats one. Tension gonna take over. Pop it up, but Arrow is gonna be on the backboard to clear it out. Butters with a big 50 straight down. Wine wins the ball, taking it towards the net, air dribbling it in, and he puts an early one in.
And that's just a great 50 win from Wien in the midfield. Looks like Drangolin thought someone was behind him, but not quick enough on the rotation back from his two teammates. And Inferno opened the scoring here and get 1-goal lead.
Yeah, a great opening 30 seconds for Inferno as Butters taking control of the kickoff. Dranglin popping it to the backboard. Arrow with a big clear, following it up himself, but Tension is going to cut that. Ween takes it up the wall, pops it, awkward touch. Butters can't quite get there. Els 50 in the corner. Arrow there to follow it up. Arrow trying to put a pass in, but Teshin gets that clear. Els trying to go for the double and can't quite get it. Arrow pops it off the backboard as Els and Arrow combine to get the ball downfield to their own half.
Oh.
Drangolin can't quite get there as Butters couldn't make it. Arrow with a great save. And that, Fishy, looks like a very big missed opportunity for Disillusion.
The shot was there for Disillusion. They just couldn't get on the end of it quite enough. I'm impressed with how Inferno really recovered from that one because they did get a team pinch heading back to their own half, and that could have spelled disaster.
Absolutely, as Inferno looking to recover. Wine air dribbling this one out, puts it to the backboard. Drangolin pops it up so Arrow can't take a shot. Drangolin clears it out of his corner, but Teshin gonna back pass that as Arrow looking to make something happen. Els stopped by Teshin as Drangolin takes a shot on net, and Wine is back in time to save it. Infield pass here from Disillusion, but Arrow clears that away. Wine downfield with the redirect, puts in their second goal.
And that's just such a pretty pass out of the back from Inferno. Arrow spotted Ween at the midfield. Just inches of beating Butters there. But great play from them out of the back to get a goal on that counterattack.
Now, Ween sitting with 2 goals on 3 shots, using the F-150. Now, Fishy, I don't know if you've used the car at all, but how does using a new car in a series affect a player's mentality?
I haven't had a chance to check out the F-150 yet, but sometimes you just need to mix it up every now and then, and you know, sometimes you just gotta go in the F-150. It just depends on the day.
I guess if you're feeling slow in the octane, might as well go to the big F-150 as Els takes a shot off the backboard. Ween there to get it, and there he goes, puts in his 3rd one for the hat trick.
The pressure from Inferno coming out in this series, we see Els just keeping the ball in that corner, trying to push for a mistake, and Ween just there to pounce on it every time. He has a hat trick in this one.
This series by itself is going to make the F-150 sales skyrocket as Els, trying to get control in the midfield, pinches it across, but Ween not able to follow it up. 50s it midfield as this ball bouncing awkwardly. Arrow deciding to control it. Butters 50'd it to the corner. Dragon taking a shot on net, and Ween caught on the back wall.
Yeah, it seems like Inferno just caught a bit on top of each other. We see all 3 players right in that center of the net for a couple of seconds there. And that left the sides wide open, and a good shot from Drangolin to try and pull Disillusion back in this game.
Yeah, love to see that they haven't got their mentality out of it yet, as Drangolin trying to get a quick counterattack off the kickoff. Teshin gonna 50 this one back in. Arrow gets a touch, and he's following it. Gets a nice flip reset over 2. But Drangolin clears it to safety. Ween with an awkward touch towards his own goal. Els with a great touch, but Tension with a good shot, and Arrow with a better save. Momentary one-on-one. 50 goes straight up. Butters, first one to it. Takes a shot on net. Els clears it away. Els gets bumped, but Arrow clears it away. One-on-one, and Ween in the F-150 just dribbles the last defender.
And Ween, the unsung hero on defense here, he killed the man who would have had the shot and likely the goal for Disillusion, and turns around to score another goal for Inferno.
4 goals on 5 shots is this man, who is putting up a fantastic game ones, and Disillusion, Fishy just doesn't seem to quite have an answer for him.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to push a little bit too much on offense. We've seen them get caught on that counterattack a handful of times. It's led to a couple of Inferno goals. I'd like to see a little more calm coming out from them in that offensive half.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe it's the car, man. The car is just confusing them. It's a great pass from Arrow, and Ween puts in his 5th goal of the game.
I'm not sure if this was styling, but Els, he had an open net there. Maybe he didn't trust himself to get the angle, but it still is a great team passing play from Inferno.
Yeah, and this is the stuff you love to see coming out of the Titan League. All 3 players getting involved on the offense. And Disillusion just looking like they don't want to know what to do as Els just takes it from him.
And that's just really unfortunate. You see Teshin thinking he could fake out Els, but nothing could really be done with that one, and Els just slowly chips it into the back of the Disillusion net.
Alright, Fishy. If you are a Disillusion player, what's going through your mind right now, and how do you just forget about it for Game 2?
It's really hard to understand what'd be going through these guys' mind. It's hard to lose by any amount of goals in Rocket League, but to be down 5, maybe even a Brazil by the end of this one, you just have to forget about it, and it is a Brazil at this point now.
Game 1 Brazil, 7 shots, 6 goals from Wine, almost 1,000 score, putting up remarkable numbers. Arrow with 4 assists and 3 saves, and Els just holding it down in the back as Inferno has an absolute great game. Do they take the goal? They do. They ruin the Brazil, Fishy.
And it seems like Disillusion kind of killing themselves. You see in that replay, all three players jumping from Disillusion. And if this is a way to just kind of get their head back in the game for game two, because they really were in this for about 2 or 3 minutes, they just collapsed near the end of this one.
Yeah, it was a great start of the game, but it fell apart quickly as I often try not to call a lead insurmountable, but Els putting in the ninth one might just make it that way.
I think that might be the first time I've seen 9 goals in any series on stream. I'll need a fact check for that one, but Inferno is just running up the score on this one.
Yeah, there's not much to say about this one. I think you're just looking forward to game two right now, and you're trying not to have the same thing happen. As Butters puts a shot on net, Drangolin another shot just wide. L's gonna pinch this one out, and Wine sitting it down. Maybe trying to get a 10th goal here to end the series as Wine puts one off the crossbar and down. What a great save there at the end.
And maybe a sign of life for Disillusion right at the end there. Hopefully they can bring their heads back into this one because it can be such a difficult mental task to try and get back into this series, but they have to realize they're only one game down and they can play this Inferno team very close.
Yeah, and I can't stop looking at 6 goals and 939 score. That is a stat line that many players dream of. An absolute great performance there out of Inferno as a whole. And if you're disillusioned, how do you come back from this?
I think really just playing more calm. It's really easy when you're in that mental mindset of, oh, I have to get at this team, try and beat them to overcommit or double commit. So I think if they try and just play it more calm, because those double commits and a couple of weird fake plays really gave Inferno a couple of goals.
Well, we'll see if that short little break between games did anything to help him as Drangolin carries it over Arrow to Tension, who sends it off the backboard. Butters takes a shot and it's just high as Inferno on the counterattack. Wine taken to the corner to Els. Els gets blocked. Arrow also gets blocked, but Wine gonna keep it in. Teshin playing it across. Els gonna be the first one to that ball as he's gonna pass it to Arrow. Arrow gets beat. So Butters gonna take a shot downfield off the sidewall. Wine down to Els. Els clears it out. As the first 30 seconds here, Fishy, has been a lot of ping pong back and forward.
Yeah, both these teams really want to speed it up on their offense, but it kind of leads to giving the ball away a bit. But these demos coming out from both teams as now Arrow dunks it in, and with no goalie in net, it'll find its way to the back.
I was sitting here watching Els go off the ceiling, and then Arrow, out of nowhere, dunks the last guy and puts in the first goal. Man, that has to be demoralizing if you're a Disillusion fan. Played them so tight that first minute, and then a near miss off the kickoff. Butters shoots it high, and the shooting accuracy just not looking very good for Disillusion right now. As Arrow just from a great pass from Wine just puts in a second goal.
And this really is heartbreaking to watch for Disillusion because you can tell what's going through their head. They've been so close to getting a clear, to getting a goal, everything in this series. It really kind of has been their whole season. They've played admirably, but just not able to get that finishing touch.
As Els, a great pass off the kickoff, and Arrow can't quite get the shot. Arrow pops it up high. No one there to touch the ball as Teshin finally clears it out. Arrow, looking to take this by himself, gets a good dunk on Drangolin. Els there to follow it. Wine up, gets 50'd by Butters, who's looking to follow it himself. Can't quite get there as Teshin clears it to the corner. Els controlling this one out of his half. Gets it over one. Gets it by Butters. It's a temporary open net as a pass comes out to Arrow, and Arrow slots it low.
The precision from Inferno, you see them Get that little overcommit out of Disillusion, and so quick from Els to get up on that corner and pass it middle, realizing it was an open net.
Last game it was Ween. This game it is Arrow with the hat trick in the first 2 minutes of the game, as Arrow gets another good 50. But Ween looks like he got bumped coming back. A weird pinch straight up to Ween as he's gonna play it off the backboard. Els can't quite get the shot as a good save comes out of Butters. Some awkward looking defensive rotations here out of Disillusion, Fishy.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to show their mental state right now, because those ball side rotations, they really shouldn't be happening at this level, but sometimes when you just go a couple of goals down, you can forget everything and just want to go to the next game.
Yeah, I would hate to call it panicked, but that's exactly what it looks like they're playing as. Is Dranglin can't quite get the double touch. Arrow with space to work with gets it over two of them. Els trying to shoot, but Butters clears it off to the side. That's two demos, one for each team, opening up some space as Els gets bumped in the corner, can't quite get the touch. Arrow with a beautiful save on the goal line, and if you're Disillusioned, you want to have that one back.
They want to have that one back. There was one right before it, too. They've had so many looks at an open net, and they'll get one here. Dranglin finds the back of the net.
Yeah, a great pass. Butters to Teshin, Teshin to Dranglin, and he puts a great shot in the upper 90, and that might be the momentum they need to get back into this one, Fishy.
Yeah, just as I was about to say, their shooting just needs a little more accuracy. They find it there because they've had almost equal opportunities with Inferno, but just weren't able to put it away up until then.
Yeah, and a kickoff chance there by Inferno, but cleared away as Inferno keeping the pressure, and a good demo by Teshin clears some of that pressure as Dranglin gonna get this by Arrow. 50s, demos Els, so they keep that pressure on. Ball off the back wall. Teshin there to shoot. Weak shot as Els is going to clear that away. Arrow's going to follow it. Passes that down to Ween. What a great pass. But a good 50 by Dranglin keeps him safe. And then the counterattack passing play, Butters off the sidewall. Can't quite get it. And both teams having just moments of brilliance. But it seems like Inferno just keeps capitalizing a little bit more.
It seems like Inferno's moments of brilliance tend to string together a little more. Disillusion, they do some great solo plays, but no one there to finish it off. As now Els, he may have finished off this game for Inferno.
Yeah, a great pop by Arrow, and this little like delayed touch as Butters just sails by it.
And that really has killed them. Just Inferno's accuracy to get the ball on net, to get it past a defender. Still get a kickoff goal here as well.
This is absolutely demoralizing to watch as Teshin just messes up his kickoff, and Arrow just too quick to get there, puts it on net, and that puts them up 5-1 with just under a minute left. Do you think there's any chance, Fishy, that they can come back from this one?
I don't think there's much chance they can come back in this game as Els puts another goal in. But they just have to remember there's still a chance in this series. No matter how bad the scorelines look, they really were only about 2-1, 3-1 games maybe before Disillusion just got out of it and collapsed a bit.
Well, we've seen one reverse sweep already. There's a if Disillusion wants to do it, it looks like there might have to be a second reverse sweep. As Inferno leading this game with 6-1 with just over 30 seconds left to play. That might be it for game 2. We'll see if Disillusion can string anything together, but it's not looking likely with the pressure in their half as Teshin finally finds some space to work with, and he just gives it away. Now, Fishy, do you think this is a mentality thing, or do you think Inferno's just completely outskilling them?
Well, it really is hard to tell because Inferno have been so much ahead of Disillusion in multiple games that they've been a little more relaxed on the rotations, and they haven't looked perfect, so to speak, but they've done extremely well at rotating around each other and getting those shots on net.
Yeah, and like this has to just be a mental breakdown for Disillusion. Uh, they play it so close early in the game, and then around that 3 minute, 4 minute mark, Inferno just turns it on, and Disillusion just can't stop it.
Yeah, I think that really hits the nail on the head with how this game is going. But Inferno maybe looking for some player of the weeks. I don't know who would get it though, because they've all kind of popped off in these first two games.
Yeah, just if you're from a strictly math perspective, Arrow, who got 800 points last game, 700 this game, is definitely making a name for himself. This 200 score performance uh, definitely hurts Ween a little bit, but we'll see if he can bounce back. Not as if Inferno needs to bounce back, but for Disillusion, the climb to the reverse sweep starts right now.
Yeah, I'd just like to mention though, it looks like Butter's on pretty high ping. I don't know how that'll affect him going forward.
Maybe maybe they're gonna ask for a reset. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like as Dranglin leaves. Uh, he left the game, but technically no one asked for a reset, so I don't know what that means. As Els dribbles one in,
Yeah, I don't know what it means for anything. I think I'd have to get someone in here to see what we should do.
as Rockerman has given us the word that we are just gonna restart this one. Um, so hopefully we can get all the players back in and a good server for Butters. Fishy, did you notice any ping issues in those first two games?
I'm sorry to say I wasn't looking. I was a little scared to check the scoreboard every time because Inferno kept on racking up the points. I was worried I might see the game crash there.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So hopefully this change of server, this mental reset will help Disillusion. There's been plenty of series that I've played in, and probably you as well, where when a team asks for a server switch, it completely stops the momentum.
Yeah, sometimes it's more than even just getting good ping back on your side. It can help you just clear your mind and go to the next one. And hopefully, we can see Disillusion get the first goal of this game and really start to bounce back.
Yeah, and I think this first minute is really gonna determine how the rest of this game goes. If Disillusion can come out of the gate and put an early one in, maybe that gives them the confidence to carry it through for the 5 minutes. But if Inferno starts out hot like they've been, then it might just be the 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Disillusion play better when they're ahead in themselves because they've been a little panicked, I have to say, because they have been so behind and they're pushing for those goals to happen. I'd like to see them when they're ahead and maybe a bit more calm.
Yeah, absolutely. And Butter's ping is looking much better. As I say that, I shouldn't have said anything. It just spiked, but we'll see if he plays on. And he gets a good touchdown field, but Arrow is going to cut that off. Doubling it, gets a ground pinch too, but a momentary open net as Drangling going to carry it wide. Butters pops it up. No one there to follow from Disillusion as Arrow gets a free touch. Can't quite get it over Teshin as puts it into Inferno's box, and he gets a bump. Dranglin passes it middle, no one there as Teshin, making it awkward, but Els with a good save. Line, downfield to Arrow. Arrow sends it down, but not very threatening as Teshin gonna control this one out. Els, good 50 in the air as Wine puts an early shot on goal. And in the first minute, both teams, Fishy, have been trading shots.
Disillusion, they came out with the early pressure, but Inferno, I've got to say, they're really good at picking which 50s they want to go for, which 50s they can win, because we've seen it a couple of times where they're on defense and all of a sudden, bang, there's two shots on the opponent's net.
Yeah, it's quick both ways in this one as Arrow with another shot, but Butters there to clear it away. Teshin takes it downfield, but can't follow that up. Els pinches that across. That's a hard pinch and a good bounce for Disillusion as a demo
Oh,
comes out and they put the shot on net. A great opening play for Disillusion.
I love the demos coming out of Teshin, knowing they have to mix something up after losing the first 2 games. That left the back post wide open for a great redirect from Drangolin.
Yeah, and a good start. Being one goal up, they've tied the amount of goals they've scored in every other game. As Inferno looking awkward right now, but Els gonna send that one downfield. Ween redirects it down to Els. Els with a quick shot, but Butters there to save it. Disillusion with the counterattack, cut off by Arrow, but Drangolin gonna send it to the backboard. Ween 50s this one to the wall. Teshin gonna take a shot to the near post and just a little bit wide. A good dribble, cut off. As Drangolin gonna take a shot on net. It is open and it goes in.
And Els, he gets demoed. He's been so solid at the back for Inferno. It looks like Arrow didn't know that he got demoed and committed as the last man, expecting someone to be behind him. But Disillusion now with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, this is they're looking much better than in those first 2 games and those demos, and as I say that, Els banks it off the ceiling to the open net.
It's another kickoff win for Inferno. It seems like Disillusion going a little too hard for those boosts off a kickoff. We've seen him get caught out maybe a handful of times in this series.
Yeah, I was gonna say Disillusion looked great, and then they let in that one off a kickoff, and hopefully they can keep their composure as Wine sends it down. Arrow can't quite get the touch he was looking for, as Butters is going to control this one. He gets a good pinch in front of the net, and L's a little too slow to get there.
That was a great pinch coming out from Butters on 0 boost off that wall. Els did not expect that much power on it, and I don't blame him because that was a great play from Butters.
And now it's Drangolin's turn to get the hat trick, as Disillusion looking good this game 3. Maybe it was the server, you know? Well, I guess we'll see as this one keeps going. Wayne gets a good 50 to clear it out, following it up himself off the ceiling. Arrow's there to read it, but Drangolin sends it away. Els, not the greatest touch, but he gets a good 50. As the ball bouncing middle, Els with a shot on net and Teshin with a good save. Wine 50s this one backwards as Drangolin gonna take it himself. Els, good clear off the backboard. Teshin sends it back in. No one from Disillusion there to shoot, as Arrow can't quite clear it away and everyone's missing, as Ween finally gets it off to the sidewall. Arrow passed it to himself, but a double commit with Els. Butters coming off the back wall, and he redirects it in.
What a play from Butters coming off that back wall. Beating Ween to that ball as well. And that gives Disillusion a 3-goal lead. And they really needed that, looking for a first game win in this game 3.
Yeah, what a way to respond as Disillusion. Looking poised to take game 3. Arrow trying to control this one out of his half. Can't quite get another touch. Ween with control now. Going for the flip reset. Maybe not quite used to the F-150 hitbox, as Teshin gets it around 1. Arrow looking to control. Butters a good 50 in the corner, but Ween clears it out. Down to Arrow. Arrow tried to send it to Els, but that's cut off. A good demo by Els. Gives him some pressure as Arrow can't quite get the backboard read. Teshin sending this one downfield. And what has Disillusion done different this game compared to games 1 and 2?
Just looking at the play that's going on right now, it's Demos really has killed this Inferno team. They have no response for it thus far. Every time that someone gets demoed in that backfield for Inferno, they're not really reacting to it and keeping on committing 1 or 2 players at the ball and leaving the net open behind them.
Yeah, that's a very good analysis, because I think 2 or 3 of those goals that Disillusion scored came off of demos. So you wonder if they're going to send that strategy into the next game is this ball from Teshin, just a little too quick for Els.
And just looking at Arrow there, he has to commit for that. Down 3 goals, you just gotta hope for the best at that point. I don't blame him, but Disillusion maybe giving Inferno a bit of their medicine, winning a lot to 1 in this game 3.
Yeah, what a wild series where it seems like so far every game has been a lot to 1 as Els looking to change that but can't quite get it. A great save coming out from Disillusion as Teshin looking to get this past the defenders. Els off the ceiling, following it up himself. Arrow there to help him as a look like an aerial play looking to unfold as the ball does hit the ground and Disillusion avoids the sweep.
And they really killed Inferno out in the open play on that one. Shut off all of their pressure, and the only goal came off of that one weak kickoff coming out from Disillusion. I'd really like to see how Inferno respond because from those games 1 and 2, we know they have the capability to score goals, but just unable to in this game.
Yeah, a very surprising performance coming out from both teams is a complete flip of the script is from what happened in game 1 and 2. Uh, so you predicted 3-1 after seeing that game 3. Does that change your prediction any?
I'm a little worried for Inferno just because the momentum can be so great. But I'm thinking maybe they have the ability. I know Els and Ween have played together a long time, and they definitely have the ability to just bounce back into a series after they get beat down.
Yeah, if Disillusion can bounce back, then maybe Inferno can as well. As Els looking to get this one out of his half, but Tranglin has other plans as he pops it up high. Arrow, first one to that ball. Els beats Teshin, but a good dunk. Butters 50'd into his own box as Ween and Els both go up for
Oh,
this. Neither of them make connection as Disillusion looking to get this ball out. A good touch, Teshin following it up, and a good uh, double touch as Butters takes a shot on net and it can't quite get there. Ween to the backboard, can't get another touch as Arrow gets a good 50. Teshin looking to control this one as he clears it away. But Ween sends it to the backboard. That's on net and Butters gets a good save. Arrow pinches it up high. Els, a weak shot on net as Teshin decides not to go for the ball. Butters sends it down. Teshin and Dranglin double commit. Teshin with a follow up and a good touch. No one there to shoot as Dranglin puts it into the corner. And this first minute of Rocket League has looked very back and forward, Fishy.
it's been back and forth, but no one's there to get the finishing touch. I'd really like to see both of these teams get their third man involved. They haven't been able to so far with a couple of double commits we just saw in there with Teshin and Dranglin.
Now, do you think that both teams are a little hesitant to commit, knowing how quickly the other team can just turn things around?
I think that could be a part of it for sure because Inferno, most of their goals came off those counterattacks, those quick back and forth moments, and Disillusion as well in that last game 3. So maybe they're just trying to solidify the defense a bit before they focus on offense.
Hey, that's never a bad idea as Dranglin gets a good good clear over one, but Arrow there to clear it away. Now Wine to Arrow, gets cut off by Teshin. Els puts the shot down, it's just wide. Wine with the semi-open net, but Butters says no. Arrow dunks it to the backboard. Wine, another weak shot in the direction of the net, but cleared it back to him. Els pops it over one. Dranglin gonna take this into the sidewall. Arrow just keeping the pressure as finally we get to see a longer stay on offense. And as I say that, Teshin air dribbling this one down the field and a good cut off by Els. Arrow looking to do the same, but Butters bumps him. Wine, good 50. That's a good bounce. That's a miss by Dranglin, and that's an open net.
An unfortunate miss from Disillusion. This game was so back and forth up until that point, and just one bounce manages to give Inferno the lead.
I'll say it. That shot should never go in a Titan League game. But for the fortune of Inferno, it does, as they take the lead in the series, the lead in the game, possibly the last game if they can hold it. As Teshin, a lofty ball into the midfield, Wine takes a shot, and Els took care of the defender.
Yeah, L's doing it off of the screen here. He just absolutely kills whoever was in net. I can't even see because it's off the screen for me. But Inferno doing a great job of bouncing back from that game 3, and they're up 2-0 here.
Now, this is where the questions about the mental aspect of the game come in, as Teshin puts a great shot behind the defender.
And Disillusion, they've been the ones to get the goals scored off of them on kickoff, but they bring the pressure this time, and a good back post shot from Teshin beats out the defense.
Yeah, that's a great way to bounce back from a 2-goal deficit. Now you put the game within one, uh, so you have until that ball hits the ground to stay in this one. As Disillusion trying to play it out of the Inferno corner, Teshin sends it up. Els sends it way across as Wine there to recover. Wine air dribbling it to the backboard, going for a bump on Butters, can't quite get it. Arrow plays it back in. Drangolin downfield. Teshin's up. What's he gonna do to it? Sends it down to Els. Els looking to start the counter attack, but Butters cuts that off. A good demo from Drangolin, but no one there to follow as Teshin gets a good 50 downfield. Wine airs on the backboard. A good touch. Drops it down. Drangolin stays composed as it looks like they might get a counterattack of their own, but Wayne is just fast enough as Disillusion looked really, really solid there for a second.
Yeah, they did a great job of holding on to that Inferno pressure with 2 players ready for a shot and 1 on the backboard. That's never an easy thing to read. But they do need a goal here with only 40 seconds left to try and force a game 5.
And it's not looking good as that ball is in their half. Ween pops it off the corner, but Drangolin sends it down. Drangolin gets a good dunk. It's a one-on-one as Butters
Oh,
puts it wide at the goal. Arrow pinches it downfield. Teshin sends it off to the side. Drangolin pops it up. Air dribbling it down, passes it, but Ween cuts that off. Teshin, great touch to send it off the backboard. Els puts a shot on net, and Butters is there to save it. Butters trying desperately to get the ball out of his half as Drangolin pops it down. Ween cuts it off at the midfield. Last chance as Drangolin pops it off the wall, off the backboard. Els with the touch. Ween there to kill it,
oh.
and the timer hits 0.
And Inferno, they hold on in this one, but Disillusion, no short of their attempt for trying. They were pushing that ball at the Inferno net. They really gave it their all here in that game 4.
Yeah, and a great series coming out of Inferno. Disillusion, moments of brilliance, but it looked like the Inferno offense was just too much to handle. As I think we're going to have an interview with one of these Inferno's players. Not quite sure. If you had to guess, Fishy, who would it be?
I honestly don't have a guess. They all played very well in that series. I don't think I could pick one out of who should interview or who I'd like to even.
Yeah, they definitely all had their shining, outstanding moments. Uh, as we wait uh, for this person to join us. Um, Shout out to Crippist with 10 more gifted and Biscuit with 2, as it looks like we might have a battle for the number one gifted spot. Um, Crippist, thank you. Biscuit, thank you. We appreciate the support. Much love to both of you. As
Yeah,
we
Crip's
are,
just popping off with those gift subs right now.
yeah, he does it for 2 reasons. One, he loves Nemesis. 2, he hates me and my bank account. So we were in a little competition there, but I think he's just solidified the win. Uh, as we are gonna skip the interview, I guess no one from Inferno wanted to join us. Quite sad. So uh, we will get the voting up for the for the streams next week. You go ahead and vote for who you want to see on stream, and we'll make that happen. So, Fishy, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Squirrel, for coming here with me, and thanks to all the chat for hanging out with us tonight. As that concludes tonight's Saturday Night Rocket League. Of course, stay here for the chat voting for the matches on Monday right here. And of course, don't miss out on joining the Discord. We got a great group of guys up in there. They can help you get into this league if you want to. We have any league if you want to, from Diamond up to High Grand Champ, the top players like we saw here tonight. And Squirrel, it's been an honor.
I've enjoyed it, and as well as the Discord, don't forget to follow us on the socials. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, as well as the Discord. So thank you once again. Shout out to everyone that gifted subs. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank y'all for coming out to a great day of Rocket League. Don't forget to vote for who you want to see on stream. Y'all have a wonderful night.